A warm welcome to our series of online support presentations from the Suffolk Psychology and Therapeutic Services. The presenters you'll hear are all members of our Inclusion Facilitation team. They are experts in working therapeutically with children and young people of all ages who find the social and emotional demands of education hard work. You can find out about the huge scope of the range of support that our inclusion facilitators offer by clicking on the web link below. Each of our series follows the same simple premise: to watch at your own speed and learn at your own pace.
This presentation, created by our Inclusion Facilitation Service, will focus on planning positive endings in the relationships we build with our children and young people. This video will cover the types of endings that can occur in relationships, the responses that these endings can create, how we can prepare for the end of a relationship, the impact a positive ending can bring, the importance of a planned transition, as well as an exploration of different strategies that we can use to create positive endings and transitions. Before we continue, please take a moment to reflect on your present level of knowledge about planning positive endings and transitions and where you might place yourself along the scale.
Dr. Karen Treisman says that all relationships are the most powerful mental health intervention known to mankind because relationships shape who we are. Therefore, we must think about what it means when these relationships come to an end for ourselves and the children and young people that we work with. The importance of building relationships when working with children and young people can often overlook the significance of how a relationship might have come to an end, or need to come to an end, and what effect this can have on them. This is especially true at times of transition.
Research has suggested that there are numerous ways that we can view the ending of a relationship. When working with children and young people, we have identified that endings are most often seen through three key lenses: ending as loss, ending as transition, and ending as change.
We often associate the word loss with bereavement, but there are many different types of loss. With endings as loss, there are certain circumstances that contribute to those feelings of loss. This can include feeling a lack of control over a situation, such as when there are illnesses, or a teacher, relative, friend or pupil moving away, perhaps a breakdown or change to a home or school placement, permanent exclusion, or logistical changes. This isn't an exhaustive list, but it starts to give us an insight into where an ending as a loss can happen. In short, an ending as loss can be a relationship that ends before the person is ready for it to happen. It can also be seen as an unavoidable ending, an ending without preparation.
There may have been discussions or exploration into how the ending might look, and most importantly, there are elements of preparation and readiness felt by those involved. When we view an ending through the lens of transition, we can see the ending of a relationship which has been allowed both time and thought. One or more people may feel that they have gotten what they need from the built relationship and are ready for transition. This can be seen as an agreed ending.
Ending as change may show similarities to transitional endings, but there are some key characteristics that make them very different. The key difference between ending as transition and ending as change is the mindsets behind them. Change endings stem from one person in the relationship feeling as though they have either gotten enough from their relationship or that they have had enough of their relationship. This can make change endings a bit harder to understand. Got enough one-sided ending. Change endings may include the notion of moving on or outgrowing something in your life, such as friendships, hobbies, settings, etc. These endings can be abrupt, but there is still an element of readiness behind them. This is most often done by one person in the relationship deciding that they have got enough from it before an ending has been planned, making it a one-sided ending rather than an agreed ending. Had enough one-sided ending. However, change endings may include all of these elements, but with one person adopting the mindset that they have had enough of the relationship, even though there may not be a sense of readiness for this ending. For example, a young person may have associated being in school with feelings of anxiety. Therefore, they may decide they have had enough of these feelings and decide that they no longer feel they can attend. This is a one-sided ending, as their teacher, for example, will not have been ready for them to stop attending. Not only this, but the child or young person themselves may not have necessarily felt ready to stop attending, but their feelings of anxiety may leave them feeling out of control, resulting in a one-sided, unavoidable ending.
Once we recognise that there are different types of ending, we can begin to understand that the responses to those endings are portrayed by our children and young people through their thoughts, emotions, physiology, and subsequent actions and behaviour. We understand that negative experiences of endings, such as endings we have had that were outside of our control or were not ready for, can lead to specific behaviour patterns. In the context of intentionally built relationships, an example of this could be a trusted teacher who the child feels understood by leaving at the end of term, or when staff roles are changed or rearranged, which often happens in schools. This can mean a child feeling moved on from a relationship with that trusted member of staff before they were ready. This may lead the child to avoidance of building new connections, which can be accompanied by feelings of regret and resentment about what has happened before. These responses may occur immediately or slowly reveal themselves. Thoughts might be, things will never get better, no one else will understand me like they did. Emotions might include sadness, anger, resentment, or anxiety. Physiological signs might feel like heaviness, fatigue, sleep issues. Actions and behaviours might include stress responses such as fight or flight behaviours, avoidance of the new environment, perhaps self-isolation or maybe not communicating. Other behaviours may be using verbal or physical aggression to push people away and want to be left alone.
We understand that all intentionally built relationships must come to an end. We have learned that this must be acknowledged from the beginning of any built relationship with our children and young people and communicated clearly with them from the beginning. This can be particularly important at times of transition. In their 2018 report, the Anna Freud Centre highlighted 3 key points to address at the beginning of an intentionally built relationship. These included talking about the end of the relationship from the beginning, working collaboratively, and creating realistic expectations together. It is important that we as adults keep the relationships that we build with our young people both clear and predictable. This is key, whatever role you hold where you're offering support to a young person.
An ending that is planned is more likely to leave feelings of positivity and hope. It is still important to acknowledge feelings of sadness or anxiety that come with the end of a relationship. But if we ensure that we address endings from the beginning, work collaboratively with our children and young people, giving them choice and control around how the relationship is shaped, and create realistic expectations together, we can help them feel valued and that they matter, accepted, reassured, better about themselves, and more confident in themselves and others going forward.
When considering transitions, which can range from moving from primary to secondary school, to changing year groups, classrooms or teachers, for some this is exciting and new. However, for others, we may notice that they are having worries about more than what is going to be new or different. We may notice them thinking about what is being lost or left behind. Planning the transition to include memories, achievements, what has been noticed about skills, character strengths and virtues, the shared moments and what has been enjoyed with them can make any transition have a positive ending.
When planning a positive ending to a relationship with children and young people, consider the following activities. For endings that are transitional or an expected change to how things have been, there are many activities that you may already do with your children and young people. For example, with Year 6 transitioning to Year 7, booklets for what will be coming up and using person-centred planning tools such as Path and one-page plans. For endings that are an unexpected change, finding ways to name and acknowledge the change and offering connection through creative means such as letters, messages, mementos, vision boards, thinking about what they are taking forward and how are they being held in mind. For loss endings, consider creating a memory box, writing therapeutic letters or messages either for your young person or helping them write their own, and creating, gifting a transitional object with attached meaning, perhaps with a person who may be one step removed from the loss.
Creating one-page plans with your child or young person enables them to have further control over their own individual journey. This way, they can benefit from knowing what is being shared and with who, and can have the opportunity to be supported with anything from the child's perspective that may not have been captured through other means.
So, in this way, through collaboration and creativity, we can navigate the practicalities and emotional elements of endings, change, transition and loss. Noting what has been done and what is needed ensures everyone's contribution is valued, accepted, and can provide reassurance and confidence in the changes taking place.
As we all work towards supporting endings and transitions, including families and carers is a crucial part of the process. Their insights, hopes, and fears need to be received with curiosity and without judgment, where we can offer reassurances, optimism, and welcome as collaborators on the child's experiences and next steps.
We hope that this short presentation has prompted discussions around the types of endings, change and transitions you may see and experience in your work, and offers ideas and suggestions for creating positive ways to navigate these. You can find further resources and ideas on the Inclusion Facilitation web pages. Thank you for watching.